and visiting with our friend of the show, Ric Bucher, and start with an NBA topic. Ric, our NBA analyst and expert, CNBC reporting that NBA agents and executives want Adam Silver to move on from the 2020 or the 2019-2020 NBA season and just cancel it. But our man LeBron James completely disagrees, tweeting out, saw some reports about execs and agents wanting to cancel the season. That's absolutely not true. Nobody I know is saying anything like that. As soon as it's safe, we would like to finish our season. I'm ready, and our team is ready. Nobody should be canceling anything. All right, Marcellus, who do you believe here, CNBC or LeBron James?
I believe CNBC. I believe the report. We all know in life that there's no good way to deliver bad news. And what most people do in those situations is they procrastinate, they delay it, and they just hope for the best. And I think that's where we are right now, in that delayed process to deliver probably some bad news. And if you look at it from the commissioner's perspective, Adam Silver is trying his best to say, hey, guys, I'm weighing out all the options, all the factors. I need all people to bring their genius to this equation. But the reality is our country is not functioning properly. How do you expect our NBA league to hit the ground running and function properly? So the logistical nightmare that must be present when discussing this, and that's just on paper. We're not talking about actually trying to live that out. So LeBron James, who I truly respect, who I think, like many of players, if not all, wants to get out there, is not looking at this in its complete entirety. LeBron James also was the same guy who said he wouldn't play without fans and had to quickly walk that back. I think in this situation, he may have to walk it back as well.
I fully believe LeBron James. When have I not? I've always been a big believer in everything that LeBron says. In this case, I do believe him because it is corroborated by what I've heard from execs and agents from the beginning of this quarantine. And I checked with a number of them again this morning after this story came out, and they have basically said the same. As Marcellus noted, the one guy who's been negative has been LeBron James when he said he didn't want to play without fans and was worried about playing after a layoff and didn't want to play if it meant being quarantined from his family for a couple months. But what I've heard consistently is that the executives certainly want to get back. The players want to get back because they've got money at stake here as much as anybody else. The executives quietly have had their salaries reduced. If there is no resumption of the season, the salary cap for next year is going to be a nightmare for them to deal with. So they certainly want to get back and play. Now, the one reservation that I've heard legitimately is the optics of if they come back and play and they they're readily testing all of the NBA players in order to do that, and that testing is not readily available for the general public, that would be a bad look. But the anticipation is that that testing will be widely available for the general public as much as it is for special interests like entertainers, the extremely wealthy, professional athletes. And so they'll be able to get around that. But the idea that anybody in the NBA doesn't want to resume this season, it simply doesn't match up with what I've heard.
Yeah, listen, I totally believe LeBron James here. And this is just good business sense. You know, this is about cream, cash rules everything around me. The cancellation of the NBA season could be devastating for the league in the near and potential long-term future. Are there some executives perhaps that would like to mail it in? Maybe the Golden State Warriors. We've heard from Steve Kerr. He's already in off-season mode. Are there teams that are completely out of the championship playoff picture that maybe there's a handful of them? But the overwhelming majority of agents who are directly tied to the money their players are paid and the salary cap and all that, they have no motive for wanting this thing to be over with now. They need this to continue. Any smart executive knows this could be really, really damaging to the league's television partners. You've got stories. I just read somewhere Dan Wetzel was writing about, and the New York Attorney General was talking about Are fans going to start demanding kickbacks from cable providers for not having live sports and paying these exorbitant fees? So, look, CNBC got a hold of a couple of people, but when I think about who's really well-sourced in this league, LeBron James or CNBC on this one here, and I don't really think this is about LeBron James just wanting to win a championship. This is a guy that, again, he's ruled by money, and he wants the league to be healthy, and it's in his best interest for it to be healthy. Marcellus, I completely believe LeBron James here.
Well, I think we're talking about two different things. In terms of desire, everyone's uniform and wanting the season to come back. But we're talking about reality, and I think that's where the schism lies. The schism is what's inevitable. And you can have all the optimism in the world, but if it's inevitable that you're not going to be able to play going forward, that's where this report is landing in terms of that population of people who are like, look, Adam Silver has always erred on the side of caution. It's almost 2 months removed from the last NBA game played, and we don't have one greater understanding of when we're going to play. So some of those people are being realists, not pessimists, just not an optimist anymore, because they're like, what is the reality of all of this coming together? You still have to finish the regular season, still have to finish the postseason. We still have to pick the location, logistics. We have to have fulfillment and people in place. The testing PR angle that Ric Bucher brought up is a huge one. Los Angeles just said that they want all of their residents to be tested, and they will allow for that. But that is not nationwide. So I'm just talking in short of the issues. And I think some execs are saying there are more issues than that, and we're no closer to the finish line. We might have to blow it up.
No, you're right, Marcellus, in that there are a lot of bridges to cross here. But Jason is also right. No doubt the Knicks, the Warriors, the teams that are out of it, they don't see any reason for for their seasons to resume. And at this point, the timeline doesn't allow them to pick up where they left off. It is going to be going almost directly into the playoffs. But we're talking about $1 billion here that is at stake and completely wrecking the league as it stands. And keep in mind, they're already talking about next season starting in December. That is a true indication that they are anticipating that they're going to finish this one.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. And be sure to check out more of the best clips from Speak For Yourself, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.